right, I might be late to the party, but it's never too late to witness. Bro, Stormy Daniels said she see dead people. Oh my gosh, what else is she gonna say?
On the fact that Stormy Daniels now claims that she is a medium and that she communicates with dead people and has participated in a TV series about the paranormal where she explores things, including the fact that at one point an ex-boyfriend of hers was inhabited by spirits. She was mocking Stormy Daniels. She wants the jury to think Stormy Daniels is a liar and she is crazy. And she also wants the jurors to judge her for her occupation. And Stormy Daniels gave no ground on that. As Sue just said, she might be an exotic dancer, an adult film actor, but she was very clear when Susan Necklace used the phrase selling yourself to describe what Stormy Daniels was doing on a tour where she was making appearances at clubs. Stormy Daniels set her straight. I was not selling myself. I was dancing. The implication always was, I am not a sex worker, and I don't have a sign around my neck that says consent given freely to everyone at any time.
Right.
She was a woman who seemed pretty self-possessed, in control of her own body, and wanting to maintain, essentially, to quote Pretty Woman, I say who, I say when, and not, Donald Trump was mine, that I was for the taking by this man. I increasingly see what Trump did to Stormy Daniels, and she used the phrase, what happened to me, more insidiously than I think I ever have. It is a reinforcement of the predator frame that the Access Hollywood tape introduced. It brought into full vision a very new Donald Trump, not just a Donald Trump who was womanizing and liked beautiful women and was one of the world's most eligible bachelors, as David Pecker described him, but a Trump who knew what he was doing and wasn't just hitting on people, but making it impossible for them to escape, or at least downright uncomfortable.
I'll just sit here and I'm really genuinely wondering, like, do they believe the stuff that they saying? Like, you just sat there and said you just tried to brush over Stormy Daniels saying that she see dead people. You also brush over the fact that she's been caught in lies multiple different times. And you're sitting here trying to paint the narrative as if somehow Trump is being affected negatively by her taking a stand, when it's hurting her more than anything. Oh my God. She up there crucifying herself. But the fact that they keeping a straight face with this, it's a little weird. I think this is how it should have went.
Stormy Daniels now claims that she is a medium and that she communicates with dead people and has participated in a TV series about the paranormal where she explores things, including the fact that at one point an ex-boyfriend of hers was inhabited by spirits. Stormy Daniels is a liar and she is crazy.
Hey, look, I'm sure that the judge is gonna allow a testimony, a secondhand testimony from one of the dead people that that Stormy Daniels talks to. This is insane. Anyhow, I want to sit back and watch the five, specifically Judge Jeanine, dismantle and react to the testimony of Stormy Daniels, man. Let's go ahead and check it out with them and do what we do.
Short and very strong comments coming from the former president as the motion to declare the trial a mistrial was denied by the judge, amongst other things. Let's get back to you, Judge.
The motion for a mistrial was denied. They apparently re-upped the motion again after today's testimony of Stormy Daniels, and they also are questioning the gag order yet again. Since Stormy Daniels has already testified, she's been trashing him. Why shouldn't he be able to respond to what she said, since she's no longer a witness? Right? I mean, it's not like he's intimidating her. She's already testified. You mean cross, redirect, cross, and redirect. So, today I saw a woman who was not altogether there. I mean, you made reference to it about paranormals and talking to dead people. But Stormy Daniels did not have a life until she met with Donald Trump. When she met with Donald Trump, that's when she started becoming famous and making money. And her credibility is shot in front of that jury. First of all, she has nothing to do with why Donald Trump is on trial right now for those 34 separate incidents of the payments going from the Trump organization to Michael Cohen. She couldn't touch Donald Trump. She had no information as it related to those bookkeeping records. That's number one. Number two, Her credibility was shot. She said she had dinner with Donald Trump. Then, no, I didn't really have dinner with Donald Trump. But since it was dinner time, I meant I was having dinner because you would have dinner at dinner time, even though I didn't eat anything.
She said that? Like, yo, that right there alone is enough to go, yeah, why are we even wasting our taxpayers' dollars?
The woman was making no sense at all. And then she talked about the fact that she had the NDA for $130,000. She got a book deal for $800,000. She got an interview with In Touch. She also made $120,000 on some kind of tour. She did the Make America Horny Again tour. I mean, she sold all kinds of merchandise. She goes on and on. And you know what I found so stunning? She said, I was in 200 porn films before I met him, and I wrote about 150 porn stories and directed them. Yeah, that's great. You can make up these stories and direct them. And in fact, that's what you're doing right here.
Literally.
And the truth is that, she kept saying that I wanted to get the story out. I did. Well, you could have had a press conference immediately. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In Touch, Slate wanted to do an interview, but they weren't offering you money, so you didn't do it with Slate. This went on for hours, and I won't bore you anymore other than to tell you she's a little off, this woman. And to subject this jury to the testimony that they had to listen to that is totally irrelevant, not probative, and prejudicial in this case, this is grounds for an appeal. And I'll tell you something else. On the redirect, the prosecution went in and made sure that she made clear that there was no force, because she was the one who yesterday talked about an imbalance of power. All of a sudden, the prosecution is pulling back. The reason they're pulling back is they're making an allegation of rape here, an untold allegation. So they had to back it up because that is reversible error, as sure as I'm sitting here. And finally, her testimony it had nothing to do with the case. And that's why they didn't call Karen McDougal. That's why they pulled back.
I was going to ask you that. Okay.
They didn't call her because they knew they went overboard on this. Karen McDougal had nothing to do with this and the payments to Michael Cohen. They just want to trash Donald Trump any way they can. And that's why he was furious. He had a right to be furious. I know of no defendant in any case where they would bring a woman who alleges she slept with him almost 20 years ago to talk about a crime that happened allegedly 11 years later. It was pathetic. It was tawdry. It was salacious. It was ugly. And you know what? She acts like what she is.
Woo! Judge Jeanine. Look, man, I'm telling you, all her kids, I don't know if she got any kids, but I tell you what, I know they made sure the chores was done. For sure. Wow, I'm glad that she laid that out the way that she did, especially being an actual judge, somebody who was an actual judge, being able to give us real insight as to what's going on in the minds of these lawyers and prosecutors and things of that nature. And yeah, she brought up a very good point. I too would be very pissed off and frustrated if I'm having to sit through women whom I never, did any of the that they alleging that I did up there, trying to convince a jury that I'm this big R word, which is a very serious allegation and a stain on your reputation. Because remember we talked about labels the other day. It don't matter if it's true or not. The fact that it's in the universe, that's enough for, the people who don't like you to just hold on to that. So now once they get debunked or whatever the case, it don't even matter. They still gonna believe it. They're gonna, oh, well, if he ain't do it, he would have did it. Something like that, right? And she also brought up the fact that the way Stormy is talking is grounds for an appeal from, on Trump's behalf and things of that nature. And the fact that she said, bro, sitting there, I talk to dead people, just talking about all the stuff that's irrelevant. 200, I've wrote 200, I've bent over 200 times. I don't know. And then, here, this is what I think. Stormy Daniels talks to the same dead people who elected Biden. And as far as this judge goes, you can clearly see that he's in on it right here. They don't care if any of these things that are being said about Donald Trump sticks. They just trying to get the man in jail any way, shape, or form. They want it so bad just so he don't have a chance to sit in that Oval Office.
Greg, on any of that or also on Hillary Clinton providing therapy.
I didn't know that
Show.
Stormy could talk to dead people. Maybe she should hook up with our current president. She should head to the White House, bring those candles to hide the flatulence. It's funny how the media actually does treat this case like a porn movie. Let's just skip past the boring stuff, the dialogue, and get to the action. Problem is, this isn't a porno. It's a court case, and the boring stuff is the actual charge. This action is just the shiny toy to distract you and get ratings. And they also can't explain the charge, because if they explained it to you, you would go, that's not a charge. It's about an accounting practice, how an expense was logged in. See, you're already bored. This is like the dialogue in a porno. The media needs to fast forward to it because they're going to lose your interest. I think the Democrats are learning the lessons that you learn from junk food. It could taste really good at first, but then at the end of the day, you're sick to your stomach. Stormy provides the sugar rush, the dopamine hit of titillation. But what do you have left? You have a president getting stronger, the challenger getting stronger, the sitting president getting weaker and looking weaker. It's a lesson in life. You can't eat away your problems. You can't drink away your problems. The problems get bigger, and so do you.
All right, Jesse Waters.
Amen to that.
I agree with you. He was furious after court and was furious before he even got into court. He said something that I thought was very significant. All they think about, Biden's fanatical left, is arresting and killing their opponent. Now, he's never used the word killing before, and I thought that was Donald Trump laying down
come on now. You guys see where this is headed. I'm not trying to be funny here, nor do I pray or wish this on anybody, but we see that they can't put him in jail. They throwing a gag order on him. He's still finding ways to make sure people speak on that. The public is all of the tactics that they're using to demonize Trump is not resonating with the public. In fact, it's actually backfiring. What other option are they resorting to?
Parker. Because remember the first term. Madonna, let's blow up the White House. Johnny Depp, poison him. Kathy Griffin, behead him. Snoop Dogg, cap to the skull. It was a very hostile time in American history. And sometimes we forget about that, and you can almost feel it boiling back up again. Last night, Jen Psaki mentioned Trump dying. The constant repetition of the propaganda of that we need to save democracy from a genocidal Nazi dictator. Joe Biden, just the other day, said that Donald Trump is going to get back in office and seek vengeance on all of Democrats. That is just enough for an unhinged man to come up and try to be the hero and try to save the country. So that word, I thought, was a powerful, calculated word that he used today. And Hillary's playing right into it. Hillary's in the morning on MSNBC. Remember, she's the one that pushed the Russia hoax. And then now she's pushing the dictator hoax. And if anybody needs therapy, it's Hillary. She has never gotten over losing in 2016. I suggest you sit down on the couch, talk to Dr. Freud, who's no longer with us, and just say that you haven't gotten over losing.
Dr. Phil.
Or Phil. Do what Al Gore did. Make a lot of money and get divorced. Is what an insensitive pundit would say.
Yes.
I really liked the fact that Rick Scott went out there today. And I'm wondering, where the hell have all the Republicans been? This is when you come in and all of the leaders of the House and the Senate hold a press conference outside the courtroom and say, this is a travesty. This is un-American, and this cannot stand. I expect to see that at some point.
Man, please. The sad thing is, all the left-wing media will just sit back and preach to you how nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong with it. And I want y'all to leave here with this in mind. It's always weird that they use any tactic they can to silence this man, Trump. They got the gag order on him. Meanwhile, she could talk about dead people. Talk against him, say any and everything. He can't even defend himself. Think about that for a second, y'all.